Hi.
Hey! Oh, I got you a present.
Oh. Were you waiting to? Oh my god.
I kind of forgot.
Yay.
You can't say what it is though because it's a
No.
spoiler.
Yeah. But it's very beautiful and it's a glass mug that I can't say what's on it. But it's super pretty and I love it so much.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
That crackling is not good for the
No.
the sound effects here.
I like how you just pulled that out of nowhere though.
It is an Akatar, Jesus. Every time Akatar mug. Well, I guess it's not Akatar. It is.
One of the leader.
It's from A Court of Mist and Fury. So
Yes.
you know what? Maybe at the end of that, we'll be able to share with you what the mug says.
We can put one of the drinks in it because it's clear.
Ooh.
It's a beautiful glass mug. I love a glass mug. Now we completely can change our topic just about merch.
Oh god.
I'm merch obsessed. I've had to relax. I am wearing my new also Akatar sweater, but I can't say what it says.
Oh, see, you can't share any of the merch that you have because all of them are from later books in the Akatar series. So this isn't really that interesting to anyone listening.
No.
Hey, I have a sweater. I have a mug.
Yes. I usually wear one of my merch shirts in every time we record because
Well, if you take a picture of yourself, you can't keep it in. Make sure you only get the top version.
Yeah. But isn't it like, it's cute. So this one I love because I think if you look at it, you don't realize like it's a book necessarily, like, or about a book. There's so many like amazing artists or creators now that do such cool things where the designs are actually like really good. And I'm like, oh, if that was just a shirt with that design, I would wear it.
Yeah, there's some really cool ones.
Yeah. So it's making it really hard to not make my whole wardrobe that. But
I think eventually over the next few years, as we continue to do this, we're just going to have a full wardrobe of Akatar and Throne of Glass and Crescent City.
Yes.
I expect.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I've already started. So I just, bookish merch. Love it. We follow some really, really good ones that I've gotten. Or another shirt I got.
When we get to the point where it's not a spoiler anymore, we'll actually tell you where we got these things.
Yeah, that's true. Then we can share more about it.
And after I got you that mug, I thought, oh, I should have got the sticker. I should have got the diarrhea sticker.
Ooh, and you know what I've also started doing was I finally got a case for my Kindle. Ooh. And I've put some stickers on it.
That's a good idea. Mine is black and plain.
Yeah.
I should really spice it up.
Yeah, I was really excited to do it. I was like, I want to join this Kindle sticker trend.
Do people do that?
Yeah. You haven't noticed that?
No.
Oh, you are just, it's a whole, people at the back of their Kindles have all these different, like, bookish, lots of Akatar. So mine, I have a couple, like, Fourth Wing on there. I have some Akatar ones. I'll show you. I'm really just going full in.
You know what I thought of too that we should do? We should get our own merch, and you know the icon that we have that doesn't say the words Books and Booze, but it's just
the book.
The book and sign, and then that we should do that so they're like on the nipples.
Ooh.
And then if you want to get real fancy with it, it could have the stars too.
Oh, I love that. I was also thinking we would have to do that one day, but I did not think of the nipple idea. That's a great idea.
It doesn't have to be on the nipples, but I think if you just like center that design, that's naturally where it falls.
We could have t-shirts with it on the nipples and then like a hoodie with it just like in the corner. So many things to come, guys. Well.
And then on the back, it'll say, ask me about my podcast. Or don't. How much time do you have?
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I forgot. Oh, I was going to say, I said this to you last night, but I was so excited about Throne of Glass. Like, for some reason, I all of a sudden, like, maybe I saw something about Throne of Glass, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to cover that series again because I have not done a reread of it, and I feel like I've forgotten so many things, so I am, like, pumped to do it. And then I realized that at the pace we're going covering the Akator series, and, like, to think of, like, one of the books I was looking at, it's like, 80 something chapters.
Yeah, there's a huge one.
We are not going to be done the Hector series until like 2025, so we'll have to wait until then to start Throne of Glass.
But I mean, some we might be able to like shorten, so maybe like December. No, probably not.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
We rearranged some of these episodes, so
yeah,
we have like a last minute drink, but it worked out because this was a drink that was in your back pocket.
Yes, it's an espresso martini, which clearly you don't pay attention to what's going on the internet, but it's
I know they exist.
Well, I know that, but it's for some reason I feel like espresso martinis are everywhere right now.
I think they were everywhere. I think it's like the trend has passed.
Oh, well, anyways, our cousin at Christmas made one and it was delicious, so I wanted to remake it. And so she sent me the recipe, and that's what it is. And I do like the idea of kind of naming them something else, how we were doing that.
No, I'm fixated on it, and of course you already know that I've like planned out all the way through Court of Mist and Fury, the next book that we're gonna do, and every single drink that is attached to the storyline. So now these drinks are going to be named about the story. They are going to be referencing the story. They're not just random cocktails.
Yes.
So the reason you had this in your back pocket saying you wanted to do this drink, and then we ended up having to do this extra episode because we wanted to break down the ending of this book more, and this fit really, really well.
It did. The color
is brown.
And a lot of this episode is spent in brown. Not episode, in chapter.
Okay,
right?
To clarify the beginning of the chapter that we're going to be talking about in a second, there is a lot of mud.
Yes.
So, I mean, I called this drink the mudworm.
Yes.
Okay, so it's called the mudworm. There's a worm and there's lots of mud, so this fit really well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's try it out. Oh, mine's, there we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. So good. It's strong.
I didn't know if you were being sarcastic.
It's good though, no? It's a bit stronger than when Corey made it. Which usually happens when I make drinks, I'm not gonna lie. You can ask many people.
Yeah, right. You're probably, oops.
Pour the rest of the bottle in.
There's an extra shot in there. Yeah, it's good.
I love it.
It's good for a coffee drink, and I say that because I'm not like
a big coffee drink fan.
It's not what I love coffee. I love a hot coffee in the morning and maybe throughout the day, but I am not itching to make a coffee cocktail. So in terms of coffee cocktails, yeah, it's very good.
Okay. I like it.
Oh, what's your rating?
I would honestly give it a 9 if I had not put so much alcohol in it.
Okay.
I feel like that was my bad. I think I overdid it a bit. Whenever I have to make 2 and it comes up for 1, I always do that. So I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 4.7.
Oh, okay.
And only because the grapefruit one that you did, the Dance Fair Dance. Oh, no, not that one. Or maybe it was that one. I gave it a 6. So, like, if I'm giving that one a 6.
Ooh. Now we're getting real.
Then I have to give this one a 4.7 because I really loved that one. And I'll add again, this is not a bad cocktail. I just like, this is just my preference, which maybe that shouldn't be my rating. I'm just like,
okay, I'm going to just take one little half point away. 7.
Okay.
Yep. Also like to say that it is 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you know what? This is fitting then, a coffee cocktail.
It worked out well. And good thing we're only doing one episode recording today.
Yes, because it would get out of hand.
Yeah, especially with how strong this drink is.
We didn't even say what chapters we were doing today.
No, I don't even think we introduced ourselves.
I think we did. It's us. We are doing chapters 36 to 39. So let's get into it?
Yes.
Okay. So we left off with chapter 35, and you know what I realized is you did Jurian as MVP.
Yeah.
And like how he's surviving. And then I saw this quote in chapter 35 where did Feyre said it, or she was I don't know. Now I don't even know who said it, but the quote is better to be obliterated than to endure Jurian's fate.
Oh.
That's why I was so surprised by your MVP. Like, that sounds like torture to be stuck in a ring.
Fair point. I think I just forgot to do MVP again and I panicked.
So she had been stuck in her cell for about 2 days before the next trial. So the next trial is starting. That is the beginning of chapter 36. It is the first trial.
First task.
Oh, sorry. First task, will Feyre survive it?
Dun dun dun.
The guards drag Feyre down this creepy hallway and into this big arena with a big rowdy crowd that is described as a cacophony of laughter, shouting, and unearthly growls. So, like, everyone's there.
Yeah, I hate it. I just hate it.
I'm so scared.
Because I'm just like, she's just like the spectacle. And I'm like, and I wrote,
Yeah.
I think, I don't know where I wrote it, but I'm like, I hate the laughter because I just feel so bad for her. Imagine going into this huge room. Everyone's just thinking you're this weak human thing and laughing at you. And
I would just, like,
nightmare.
turtle and cry.
Just curl up on the floor.
Just fetal position. Stop laughing at me.
I'm not doing it. Screw you, Tamlin.
She gets thrown on this platform where Amarantha and Tamlin are sitting, and they're surrounded by the other 6 High Lords of Prithian. They're all there. They're all there to watch.
What a
and
fun gathering.
she notices that Amarantha's hand is on Tamlin's knee, and she is mad.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're laughing. That's
Yeah, it's not.
not funny.
No.
The Ator grabs her, or as we call him, Dave. Dave Bautista.
Dave
Dave
Bautista.
lifts her, and flies her, because he has these big bat-like wings, flies her, and drops her in this labyrinth of
Mud labyrinth that she
Yeah.
sees with like tunnels and
trenches, and
everything's just mud.
Amarantha's like, I heard, Rhysand told me you like to hunt, so hunt this. Which is pretty epic villain dialogue.
Amarantha, in these next few chapters, has some great lines. When I was rereading it, I would just highlight. I'm like, this would be such like good like comedic.
If you got I'm still not set on who my actress is. I feel like, if ever in the future I find one that like really fits, I'll bring it up again. But if you get a good enough actress to do this, she could be this could be like an epic role.
100%. Just and they're like short lines, but I'm like, they're so good. Because she says, yeah, hunt this, and then
She whispers to Feyre, she goes, run.
she calls her name first. Feyre, Feyre looks back.
Okay, fine.
It just makes me think of there's like that song, and it kind of starts like that goes run, and it's like da 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 da.
Except for it's Amarantha whispering it.
Yeah.
Run.
And then the music starts, and Farrah's like, oh, shit.
Starts running. Well, I don't think she starts running, though. Because I think she notices the big worm first.
Yeah.
So the mud, the slippery mud that she, like, can't quite catch her footing, and then she notices this ginormous. I mean, we say ginormous, like, I don't even know if they described it. Maybe I just assumed I was right, but, like, a humongous worm.
Yeah. Like, bigger than a house.
Yeah.
With rows and rows of teeth when it opens up its mouth. It's not cute. That's for sure.
So Feyre is so smart. I would
so smart.
Look, again, I'd be turtling, or I'd be like, I don't know what I would be doing, but
I've never been in that much of a situation where I'm like, I hope that I would at least try and fight for my life.
Right.
But she's so much smarter about things. Just how she's like realizing them. I'm like, I don't think I would put these things together.
But I mean, not to bring up trauma again, but like some people thrive in chaos.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I would like when there's like overwhelming chaos, that's not where I thrive, I think, but some people do. And so I think like Feyre thrives in this environment. Like, okay, what do I need to do? She can like put aside everything else and just focus.
Yes.
She figures out that the worm is blind. So she's like, okay, it can't see me, but it can smell me.
It's a game changer.
Totally.
She would have just died if she did not figure that out.
And she also realizes that the place where the worm lives is filled with bones of whatever it had eaten, and she makes a ladder to climb up the muddy walls.
Which I do love because at that point it's something, because she kind of falls into the hole where all the
Yeah.
bones are, and one of the fairies yells, "Oh, do you need a step ladder?" Because she's trying to get out.
Right.
And she's like, "Yes, I do need a step ladder. Let me just grab these bones.
Good idea.
Thanks for helping me out."
She also breaks the bones in half so that there's a sharp end, and then creates this trap for it too, so that it'll fall into a bunch of shards of bones, which hopefully will hurt it. Like, so smart.
Like, you want me to hunt, Amaranth? I'm gonna hunt.
Yeah. She covers herself in mud. Like, from head to toe. She said
Rolls around in it.
only her eyes are showing, and this is to mask her smell. So that it doesn't know where she is. It can't follow her around. And she overhears Rhysand, because I think one of the other fairies is kind of laughing, be like, what is she doing?
Yeah,
and
crazy.
Rhysand sees what she's doing and says, and she overhears him saying that she's building a trap, and he smiles at her from the audience, and then she gives him, I love this, she gives him an obscene gesture and then breaks into a run, which is hilarious.
Right? Oh, it'd be so good. That's like part of me, like that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, I'd love to see that.
This whole scene would be a really good like film.
I feel like this scene they could actually do, and it would be good.
Is the opposite of what we said in the last episode, or what I said. Because like I have no idea how this would be made into a movie or series. It would be impossible. But I'm eating my words right now because this scene would actually be really cool.
Yeah, it would be.
She actually runs toward the worm, which would not be my instinct. She cuts her hand so that he could smell her blood, which...
You're asking for an infection, number one, doing that?
And I'm just thinking now, why do you cover yourself in mud if you were just going to cut your hand so that he could smell you and chase you? Maybe it was to give her time so that she could build that trap. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah. But
she's smarter than me.
I'm just like, because they talk about the mud, and obviously it's also just like feces.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like when they keep saying mud, I'm like, so mud and poop.
Yeah, which I do think they say that at one point, like her realizing what she's actually doing. But I'm just thinking, like, and you just cut your hand open?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That can't be good, Feyre.
No.
Oh, important part, Lucian helps her.
Yes, I think they're really friends now.
So she loses sight of where the worm is, and Lucian shouts out and warns her that the worm is to her left just before the worm bursts through the wall. And so he saves her.
Yes, 100% he does.
Which is a no-no. Like, he's going to get in trouble for that.
Yeah, you should not be helping her out.
Yeah.
At all.
So anyway, she lures it to its... What do you call it? Like its house, the den, the resting place, so that he I don't call the worm a he. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter.
So Feyre jumps into it also, and she talks about when she was making it how she made like a spot open. So I'm assuming that was the spot for her to jump, which that's also really risky. But then rolls out, worm smashes.
Yeah, she kills it.
Yes, girl.
She did it. Oh, I don't know how you did it. I would have been dead in 12 seconds.
I wouldn't have even made it to the first task, so...
I would have cried and ran away, then they would have killed me. Okay. But she did it. And I love... Look, props to Amaranth. She's hilarious. Right? She's like, well, I guess anyone could have done that.
just like the straight face, like sarcasm, sarcasm. I just love it. Yeah, just like unentertained at this point.
Yeah,
I'm bored.
But she also seemed kind of bothered, like surprised.
She is bothered, but good for her for just. I would have been like, oh shit, but she's no. Well, anyone could have done that.
And then Feyre, this is risky. She takes the shard of bone that she had in her hand as a weapon, and she whips it at her.
Yeah, and gets mud all over her white dress.
No.
Yes.
And surprisingly, Amarantha, does nothing.
Yeah.
But she does tell her that everyone bet against her except one person. Like, they were taking bets for money, you know?
Yeah, and only, which is, I mean, great for that one person.
Yeah. And then Amarantha's like, take her away.
I'm bored.
Yeah, and she, as Feyre is going back to her cell, she realizes that her arm is really fucked up.
Yeah.
There are shards of bone coming out, there's ripped tendons, and she's like, oh, shit. And she's literally covered in shit.
Yes. Imagine that, though. I feel like I would be screaming in agony. I am dying. I need a doctor. And she's just like, okay, well, I'm just going to go back to my cell.
We've already established we wouldn't have made it. Look, I'll give us 13 seconds to be generous. So
Yeah. That's good.
Help me. Okay, chapter 37. Feyre is dying, to say it bluntly. Which, I mean,
Okay.
you've already mentioned poop in the wound. That is not, that's not ideal, along with, like, bones sticking out and
I'm not a
losing
doctor,
blood.
but...
I'm not a doctor, but things aren't going well, and you're not going to survive.
That's going to get infected.
And so that's what happens. She starts to get a fever.
Yeah.
She's noticing the blood isn't clotting, and she's just like she's vomiting in the corner. It's a big mess.
She's aware of the signs.
Yeah. So
she sees a little smoke by the cell. And who do you think it is?
Well, it's Rhysand.
Yeah.
He's the one with shadows. He's the one that appears with shadows. And it's like days later, and she's like still covered in the mud. She's still...
Yeah, not doing well.
Yeah.
And I think she was hoping that Lucien would come for her again, like he did before.
Right.
But he has not.
No. So...
Rhysand shows up.
The quotes that I wrote down for Feyre were, go to hell, get away, get away. And then I think there were a couple more, go to hells.
Yeah, so a couple more spitting at him.
Yeah.
So he comes in and...
Not all at once. Those were like throughout the conversation.
Those were just... He would say something, she would say those things back.
Right.
But so he offers to help her.
Wait. We learned that he was the one that bet on her.
Oh, right. Yes. Which makes sense because then Amarantha, right after that, called him over.
Yeah.
And then obviously realizing that he was the one that had bet on her.
Yeah. So he thought she would win.
Right? Like...
He said, you made me a lot of money. Thanks, Feyre.
Yeah.
He wants to see her arm to see how bad it is, but she doesn't want him to see it because then she thinks that they'll all know, so like Amarantha and her people, and use it against her. So she really doesn't want him to see it, but he just forces her to anyway, which is like excruciating.
It sounds very painful.
Yeah.
And so then he offers to heal her, but obviously that comes with something, which I do.
Price.
Yes, which right away which I think she even says, but because how Alice had said to her, like, don't make deals. Type of thing. And right away she says, like, what do I have to do in return? Yeah. He says, you've clearly been spending a lot of time with fairies, because she knows that I'm not getting anything for free.
Thanks, Alice. Mm-hmm. You are still the ultimate asshole, but we love you. We love you because you have some insight, you have some gems, and it helped her out here. Yes,
it did. But so he says, I'll help you out, but after this, you have to spend 2 weeks each month with me in the night court. That's a lot.
That's literally a half your time.
Yeah.
She also, I mean, so he's trying to convince her, explaining to her, like, Lucian's not coming.
Yeah.
Lucien is being punished for helping you by shouting to you during the trial and basically saving your life. Like, he's not coming.
And you're very clearly dying.
Yeah. And he also says, not says, but like, or I guess he does say, like, I noticed, like, your nose was no longer broken. You know, you were cleaner than you had. So, like, I saw the clues. Lucien has come to help you before. Yes. So just so you know, that's not going to happen again. Or you can wait it out, but who knows? You might not be alive by then.
Yeah.
And he makes a good case, honestly.
Yeah, he does. He does grab her arm, twists it again. She spits in his face. I hate when
it's so cringy.
Yeah, every time I'm just like, oh, I hate it. And then he's kind of like, last chance.
Yeah. Oh, she also says again, go to she says, go to hell, and she spits in his face. Yeah. Like, consistency.
Mm-hmm. You know, she's like, no, I don't like you. I don't need your help.
Yeah.
Which normally I'm like, yeah, You stand your ground.
Yeah, we're like, Feyre, you should,
You're dying. You're just...
Yeah.
Tamlin's like, you're not helping anyone out by dying.
Which is what he explains to her. And he's like, okay, last chance.
Yeah.
I'm leaving once I'm gone. Like...
Which, and then it kind of just describes all this, this like quick thought process, I'm assuming, because it...
Mm-hmm.
And kind of realizing that, yeah, I'm not going to do anything by dying.
I have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right before he pretty much disappears, she says, wait.
Mm-hmm.
So he turns around with a little smile. It's like, I've won.
Yes. And she tries to negotiate with him, which he's surprised by. He's like, you're trying to negotiate with me right now?
Yeah.
Because she's like, okay, 5 days. I'll do 5 days. And he's like, what? Yeah. You're literally dead. Like,
yeah. 10 minutes, you probably are going to be dead.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, 1 week. And then they agree on 1 week.
Yeah. So he does his magic.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's probably what it sounded like.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, so I think it's pain for a minute, who knows how long.
Yeah.
But then she's healed, she's clean,
No
fever
pain.
gone. But she all of a sudden looks at her left arm, I believe,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to find from fingertip to elbow a tattoo. Beautiful new tattoo. Some ink.
Black, swirly tattoo. And she says, like, it looks kind of like a laced glove. And when you look up close, it looks like intricate depictions, flowers and curves that flow to make up a larger pattern, which actually sounds pretty nice.
Right? That's what I was thinking. It sounds pretty. Like, I wouldn't really be mad at it.
But it's also, like, permanent, right? It's like you have a
Yeah.
permanent lace glove, which doesn't go with every outfit.
Yeah.
If you think
But then
about
there is, did we say the eye?
Right. There's an eye in the middle of her palm, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And she's like, what the hell is this? That's not a direct quote, but she basically says, like, what the hell is this? And he says, it's custom in my court for bargains to be permanently marked upon flesh. Ooh.
she's like, why didn't you tell me?
He's like, why would I tell you?
Yeah. You didn't ask, so you're bad. And then he kind of does also taunt her with the fact that...
Ooh, wait till Tamlin finds out.
Yeah.
He's gonna be upset, and that's gonna amuse me. Which, I don't know. As an outside reader, viewer, I'm like, that actually might be kind of
Yeah,
funny.
like, he clearly loves pissing Tamlin off.
Yeah. And then he just says, rest up, Feyre. And then he turns into shadow. Jamie's highlighting. If you could just... She's got a pink highlighter. She needs to highlight.
I could never be prepared.
Chapter 38.
Woo!
Chapter 38 is all about cleaning.
Yeah.
Just cleaning up under the mountain. Cleaning
Just
up
like a
under
little
the mountain.
Cinderella.
Just bringing back our song. She is a Cinderella.
Yeah, I really just like to throw out all the Disney references.
Yeah. You know what I noticed too? Like, listening back on things, how we describe things, like, there was the Sonic the Hedgehog, and then you described Edward Cullen.
Yeah.
We were describing Lucian's running. And there was another one from the last one, from another one too. I don't know. Just our interpretations made me laugh. Just a side note. We just think of so, like, way different references. Oh, I was thinking Troll Under the Bridge, and you were like, oh, it reminds me of, like, the Riddler, or, like...
Oh. Not the same thing.
Mine are very childlike. Okay. Though you have Disney references, so...
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, Feyre is put to work because, as Amarantha said, like, you're gonna pull your weight because I'm housing and feeding you, even though I'm giving you moldy food and you're in a cell, I'm giving you shelter.
That's it. That's all I'm giving you.
So she has to scrub this big marble white hallway, but she's given a bucket of dirty water, which is an impossible task.
Yeah, so she's starting and then she realizes... Well, the floor is just getting dirtier. This isn't going anywhere. But then someone peeks in and she sees red and she at first thinks it's Lucian. But then comes to realize that it is his mother.
Yes, and
the
she
lady
knows
of the Autumn
that.
Court.
She says something about Lucian, but before she does, Feyre notices the red hair, the same color eyes, and she knows, like, okay, this is Lucian's mom. Like, she can tell. And then Lucian's mom, the lady of the Autumn Court, thanks Farah for giving her name to Amarantha so that she could save her son's life. And so she uses her magic to give Farah a bucket of clean water.
Yeah.
And she says, "My debt is paid."
Which is also, side note, nice to see that, some of Lucian's family still likes him.
Yeah, which, I mean, Rhysand kind of references in the past when he said things like, "Oh, your mom's gonna be upset," or "What would the Lady of the Autumn Court think?" Which kind of alludes to, like, his mom is sad that he's not around and, like, misses him, right?
Like any good mother would be.
Well, his dad clearly doesn't care. He's the one that killed his girlfriend.
But yeah, it's nice little...
Yeah.
Yay, Lucian's mom.
So, Farah moves on to her next cleaning task. It's just cleaning. And another impossible task. They're just trying to torture her. They're just trying to find a reason to,
This is the weirdest task.
Well, that's the point. It's not a doable task.
Yeah, but I could get, like, cleaning floors.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're going to go... So they bring her to a room. Like, you're going to clean lentils out of this fireplace.
Why lentils?
Right? I was like, why are lentils in the fireplace?
Well, I think they say, like, one of the housemaids spilled it in the accidentally, so you're going to come clean it up. So why are you spilling lentils accidentally?
Right? It's weird.
And this is the next day, so she's cleaning lentils out of this fireplace, but she doesn't know whose room it is, so it's someone's, like, living quarters.
Yeah, and they say if you don't finish, like...
We're going to peel off your skin in strips.
Yeah.
Oh, was that a good impression?
That was
usually don't do good ones.
Yeah.
You've done a few good ones.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,
but so she doesn't know who the occupant is.
Right.
And pretty much says the occupant will peel off her skin in strips if she does not complete this task.
Yeah. And then...
the occupant comes in.
All of the candles go out. Darkness settles on the bed and takes a familiar form. And... as wonderful it is to see you, Farah, darling.
Is he from the south?
That was very southern. Okay, Rhysand is not from the south. Wait, let me try it again. As wonderful it is to see you, Farah, darling. Don't want to know. I did it again. Okay, you try it.
Okay.
Try a Rhysand.
I'm just going to try and say it normally.
Well, you have to say it in Rhysand's voice.
I want to do it like with the... There's like those men on TikTok.
You're trying not to do it in a southern accent too?
Yeah. As wonderful it is to... Oh my God. To see you, Farah, darling. I'm just going to say it normal.
Boo.
Do I want to know why you're digging through my fireplace? At least I know.
That was taking a turn for British.
Anyways, I love the casualness of it.
Do I want to know why you're digging through my fireplace?
Ooh, no.
No?
No, definitely not that accent.
Okay. And he's sitting on the bed with...
He's sprawled more.
He's sprawled on
casual.
the bed with his hand propping up his head. So it's a scene.
Just this casual... like, why are you looking for lentils in my fireplace?
What's happening? Right? This is fun. And they both just try and make sense of what's happening. So she's like, you orchestrated this. And he's like, no. And he's like, well, maybe it's just Amarantha's cronies just trying to have some fun. And she's like, well, maybe it's because you upset her because you lied about Claire. So she brings that up, which they haven't talked about.
Which also, again, smart Farah.
Is it smart, or does she have a big mouth, which she soon references?
Yes. No, but I think just like, her putting that together.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. But no, not her big mouth.
Yeah. How did you knew who I was, but you didn't say anything?
Yes.
What's that about? And he says, Amarantha plays her games and I play mine. Gets rather boring down here day to day.
Jesus.
Is that better?
No.
That sound...
No. So she starts to kind of question him more about a couple different things.
But you have freedom. You have freedom, right?
Yeah, you went out on fire night. You put the head in the garden. So find out Amarantha told him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And fire night, he doesn't really answer.
No.
Just says, I had my reasons.
I had my reasons.
Oh my God. No, I want to play the man that should be doing this voice.
Okay. Does it sound exactly like the voice
nope.
I just did?
It should be Henry Cavill.
Stack of words shuddered.
Oh.
Just that voice, that...
But it's British, so...
I mean, he doesn't have to be British.
It gets rather boring down here.
or
Maybe mine is like region specific and it's not the same places where Henry Cavill's. Oh, I wanted to add, whenever we bring up Henry Cavill, I think of the Drag Race episode where Angina sings about Henry Cavill.
I don't remember that.
The All-Star season where they do the group songs.
Yeah.
And they have to sing about like love, like someone they're in love or infatuated with, and everyone like picks a person. And she picks Henry Cavill, and I believe it's like RuPaul who's kind of like, oh, that's like kind of like not a like it's not one that like stands out or like everyone knows, and it's like hard to like give details about, but she's just like Angina wanted to do Henry Cavill.
I can't believe I don't remember this.
I wish I could sing it. All I have in my head is like, do Henry Cavill.
I love it.
Well, look it up later.
Okay.
You and Angina are on the same page.
I know other people are too. I just needed to hear a better voice than what you were doing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll stop.
Okay. Anyways.
Anyway, he said about Fire Night, like, I had my reasons to be out then. Don't think Farrah that it didn't cost me. And like you said, he doesn't actually explain what that means.
Doesn't. Then she asked about the powers.
Right, like, why do you have all these good powers and nobody else does? And he said this is just the scraps, which makes you think, like, oh, you're very powerful.
But just like how Tamlin still had power, because the High Lords have more power, right? So Tamlin still had quite a bit more.
Yeah.
But for both of them, it's not.
It's not like they would normally have.
Yeah.
And he also says that all the High Lords can shapeshift. So Tamlin turns into this beast, and then he shows her that he can.
He says he prefers wings or to fly or something.
So he sprout these bat-like wings, and they're massive, black, membranous wings. Kind of like the Ators, which kind of ruins it, but...
I feel like the rest of the Ator's description is...
Right.
Yeah.
And she says, horrific, stunning, the face of 1,000 nightmares and dreams.
What a mixed bag that description is.
Right. Mixed reviews on the wings.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's kind of like a dragon, right? They're like beautiful, but also kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. She got to see a different form.
She asks if he the answer to the riddle, which is super bold.
Yes, keeps being very bold with her questions and everything with him.
Yeah, she thinks only around him did I have trouble keeping my mouth shut. Why are you so comfortable?
Yes.
Just saying whatever you want, considering he's like...
How he can do, what he can do to your mind. Like, he does a thing to her mind. Like, she's like, I can feel talons and...
And he's like on Amarantha's side. Like, you should like watch yourself.
Hey, tell me the answer.
Yeah, and he's like, she's forbidden anyone to help you. I couldn't even help you if I wanted to, but because you have the nerve to ask, I'm going to help you with these lentils.
And then he also cleans her up.
Mm-hmm.
The guards come back.
Yep.
And he uses some magic again.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much says, no more of these stupid tasks, or chores for her to do.
Leave her alone.
Yeah. And she's also going to be given food.
Ooh, yeah. He smiles at her, and he says, "You're welcome." Which is another like grand outrance.
Yes.
Or exit, which is a word. Exit is a word, not outrance.
I like outrance. Start saying that. But yeah, so he's helping her out there, but it's also like, oh, why are you helping her out so much? Questions.
I mean, we'll see.
But also great that she doesn't have to do these stupid chores and she gets actual food.
Yeah. Now, chapter 39, which is our last chapter today. A lot happens here.
A lot does happen.
So she does start to get those hot meals, which, oh my god. I'm hungry right now, so this is significant for me. But I just think of like when you're starving, which I'm not. I ate last night. I'm not a starving person, but I imagine that getting a hot meal. I just had an espresso martini. Right. Having a hot meal and not a moldy meal is probably very...
And, that's going to make her a bit stronger for the tasks that she has to complete.
Mm-hmm. So she doesn't have any visitors. She tries to think of the riddle, but just can't possibly... She basically just gives up. She looks at the eye in her palm. And I wrote down this was... I don't know if I'd call it creepy or what, but she says she could have sworn that as she dozed off, that blinked.
Kind of weird, creepy.
So after 4 days alone, Rhysand, or what she assumes is maybe Rhysand, she's not sure if it's Amarantha or him, but she assumes that it's him, I think because of like the
shadows.
how they're shadows. Yeah. So these two high fae women, they come to get her, and they
bring her through the
bring
cell
her through
doors.
the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just like shadows
crazy.
like Rhysand, but
they're like more shadowy or something.
Yeah, like she can't truly like see their features, like they're not fully formed, so
Yeah.
she can't like see them truly, but they wash her, they bathe her, they put on some gauzy makeup and body paint.
Gauzy makeup?
Well, I think of gauzy.
I think she has a gauzy dress. It's not makeup.
Okay, what's the definition of gauzy?
like very like thin material.
Okay, well I used the wrong word. I mean like they put a lot of makeup on her. Like
yes.
Yeah. They put on their eyeshadows and their
eyeshadows.
Their eyeshadows and their eyeliners and their mascaras.
But yeah, then the outfit is pretty much just like over the body parts that need to be covered, but it's still kind of see-through.
Yeah.
She's like, what is happening? And then they paint all over her body.
Yeah. To match her tattoo, just like an extension of her tattoo.
Yeah, like painted swirls and yeah, so she's like, what? But then Rhysand comes in.
God, you looked exactly like I thought you would. Let's go to the party. And she's like, hey, this wasn't part of the deal. What do you think you're doing?
But then he does explain that the flimsy dress and all the paint is so that he knows if anyone else has touched her.
Yeah. And he also wants a date to the party.
And also that
he didn't want her laying around in her cell. He's like, let's go to the party. I'm helping you out here.
You're fed now. Amarantha has Tamlin. So let's us two get together.
So he brings her to the midsummer celebration, and Rhysand explains that he made a deal with her that she has to be with him a week per month, and basically I don't know, I saw it as like flaunting it in front of Amarantha and Tamlin, and like this is what's happening here, and Amarantha and Tamlin don't really respond.
No, Tamlin, it does say that you can see his white knuckles gripping his chair, so obviously him trying not to react and freak out.
Right.
Not happy, one, that Rhysand did that and that Farah made that choice and that her body is now marked with a Night Court tattoo. So they move on through the party, and Rhysand offers Farah some wine.
But Alice said, don't drink the wine.
She did.
She did say no at first, and then he says, drink, you'll need it. And then she's like, okay, whatever. I want to forget this anyway.
Yeah. So she drinks, and then wakes up in her cell vomiting.
Yeah, well, I mean, you drink a lot of fairy wine, that's not going to do good things to your digestive system.
No.
She doesn't remember what happened the night before. Lucian ends up visiting her and tells her, yeah, you were like dancing on Rhysand all night, like,
yeah,
because she's like, tell me what happened, and that is what happened.
Yeah,
if you weren't dancing, you were in his lap, he says.
She also does notice on her body that it was only her waist where the paint had been taken off, and I think her hands or something.
Yeah.
So she does know that it didn't go anywhere, like, further.
Right.
Like, his hands weren't anywhere else.
Lucian's like, why did you do that? Why would you make a deal with Rhysand? So again, like, this is kind of reminiscent of his last visit where he's like, what are you doing here? And this time he's like, why are you making a deal with Rhysand?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you wait for me? And she's like, I was dying.
Yeah. You weren't coming.
And also, how can I trust you considering what happened at Tamlin's? Like,
yes.
She gives the example of the nega. Like, you hesitated. Like, okay, even though we had these good moments, like, you also proved that, you know, you weren't sure that you even wanted me there. So how can I fully trust that you are going to come? Mm-hmm. And then also, like, he probably wouldn't have made it in time.
No.
Because he never did come.
No.
Right? And he says, like, I also couldn't come because he was punished during the first task when he tried to help her, so he couldn't come. So, like, Lucian, why are you...
Which I think Rhysand had said previously, that we find out that Tamlin kind of stood up for him. So then Amarantha made Tamlin whip Lucian. Mm. So that was kind of his punishment.
Yeah.
which is sad.
Yeah.
And then he kind of says, like, I've just been able to heal today to this point. Like, he couldn't really
Yeah.
move or walk around.
He also explains that the reason that Tamlin's not reacting to anything, so Tamlin thus far has been like a stone, right? He doesn't react to Feyre looking at him, anything happened to Feyre, and the reason that he's doing that is because he doesn't want to give Amarantha any clue as to, like, what bothers him or, like, to use anything against Feyre, that he's doing it to protect her.
If he reacts to something specific, he'll be like, oh, I'll do that more.
So the parties continue. Basically, I guess it's daily, right? Like, they continue to have these parties, and of course she can't go, like, the tasks that she is dealt only happen on the full moon, so there's lots of time in between where she just has to go to these parties each night with Rhysand and drink the wine and so go into oblivion. Every
day she's just getting drunk and then puking the next day all day.
Yeah.
So she hasn't really had time to try and solve the riddle, number one.
She's tired.
Yeah, I'm super hungover.
Rhysand comes to get her and he says, hey, the trial is tomorrow night, which obviously is very anxiety producing for him. Yeah. She has lost count of the days. Rhysand says, I wonder if you were this prickly with Tamlin when you were his captive. She said he never treated me like a captive or a slave.
I like this part.
And he said something about, like, if he was a true High Lord, he would have done what was necessary. Yeah. Basically, like, made you fall in love with him and gotten that I love you out of you so that it could break the spell. That's what he should have done. And she said, your court fell too. And Feyre thinks that sadness flickered in his violet eyes. She says, I wouldn't have noticed it had I not felt it deep inside me.
Ooh, what could that mean?
Well, she's referencing the eye. Like, is this eye more?
Yeah, connected somehow to him.
Because she felt it. She felt the sadness, which she was like, oh, what was that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, he goes on to taunt Tamlin or say, like, taunting Tamlin is my greatest pleasure. This is just fun. Fun.
Love doing this.
And she said, yeah, but you saved my life. And he said, yeah, but through your life, I saved Tamlin's. And she's like, why? Like, seriously, I'm very confused by this whole conversation.
This whole fairy world is never really giving me direct answers, just like little clues to things.
This whole book.
Right? And then he just says, he winks and says, that, Feyre, is the real question, isn't it?
That, Feyre, is the real question, isn't it? Ooh. Pick your favorite.
Which, yes, it is the real question. Like, why are you...
And he doesn't answer. No. And then we literally just move on to the next scene.
Yeah. But that part, I was like, hey, why? Like,
Why? Tell us!
Want to know, like, what's your game here that you're playing?
So, they go to the party. Another party. Look, if you had a party every night and had to get dressed up every night, that wouldn't be a fun party.
But I mean, like, what else are you doing during the day?
Nothing. I'm just like, Amarantha, you're creating this world, babe. Like, you're.
But I think you need to keep them...
Switch it up.
So you're just getting them all addicted to fairy wine and probably some fairy drugs and just partying every night. So they're not thinking about ways to...
Right.
Like,
where's the party
situation.
Games, though? Where's the cornhole?
Imagine. Some bocce ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they didn't mention any of that.
That's an important part of the story.
But what games were you playing?
Amarantha orders Rhysand to... Or maybe I'm not jumping ahead. But there's this high fae summer court fairy that is in trouble. He tried to escape.
Yeah.
Don't blame him. But she's like, Rhysand, you need to look into his mind and see what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I need to know who he's with, why he was doing it.
He says that the fairy was trying to escape through the spring court, so the same way that Feyre had gone into under the mountain, and that he was trying to get to the human realms and had no accomplices, which is hard to believe, but Amarantha believes him, so...
Because Rhysand can read minds.
She says, Rhysand, you need to not... shatter him. which is different than killing him. So like shattering his mind, so he's like a shell of a
Which I
person.
didn't like read it like that. I mean, shatter
No?
him, I would just think break him into a million pieces. Like, yeah, kill
Oh.
him. But yeah, it's just shatter him and do with what you want with his body after.
Yeah.
So I would be like, yeah, that would mean kill him. But apparently that's not what she meant.
Yeah, I guess he ends up killing him instead, and then Amaranth is upset about that and was like, I just want to do to shatter his mind, not kill him.
Yes.
But she moves on. But Feyre does note this. She's like, why would you lie about that? And she's like, was it part of the game? You know, because he had previously mentioned, like, you know, Amarantha has her ways or her games,
and I have
and I have
mine.
mine too. Like, what is that about? And she says, I wondered whether anyone but he and the High Lord of the Summer knew that the killing had been a mercy. I was willing to bet there had been others involved in the escape plan, perhaps even the High Lord of the Summer Court himself.
Yes, because he looked relieved once Rhysand had said the answers. So that, yeah, interesting. Again, what's your game here?
Yeah. You are a mystery, Rhysand.
Mm-hmm. Two things I would like to mention.
Uh-huh.
At one point when this is all happening, Feyre says something about her watery bowels. My bowels turned watery.
Again?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Just needed to say that. So just keep looking out for that, you know, and for...
Should we have like a diarrhea count at this point?
We could.
Is it
watery
two?
bowel count? And I did see, speaking of the merch thing at the beginning, there
Uh-huh.
was a sticker that said that was a watery bowel.
Okay, good. So
So-
we're at 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's keep going.
Also, when they were exiting, like as her and Rhysand were like walking away from the party, the crowd stayed far, far back as we walked through it. Whore, some of them softly hissed at him out of her earshot. Amarantha's whore. Like, you're walking out of a room and everyone's just... I was like, oh, that's... And I guess, like, some of them were like, good for you, you killed a traitor, but... I was like, guys, like,
Considering
don't...
how powerful he is, why are you shouting that at him too? That's the confusing part.
Right? And don't slut-shame him.
Yeah, what?
It really upset me to have anyone walking through a
Why
crowd
are
and
you
someone
all-
just yelling, whore! Like... And it's Amarantha's horse, so you know what? You should be leaving him alone, and he is a High Lord.
Anyway, let's do the casting call.
Casting call.
You could do better than that.
Yeah, that wasn't a great one. Do you want me to retry or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Casting call.
Casting call.
That's good. I like that. I like that for the casting call.
Thank you. So today we have one casting.
We have 2.
Who else?
The worm.
Stop it. Okay, fine. Let's do the real one first. The Lady of the Autumn Court, Lucian's mommy.
Yes.
And she is a mommy because I imagine that she is hot. Hot, hot, hot.
Yes. Same.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I chose Jennifer Connelly.
She's my casting for a different mom in
Oh.
a different Sarah J. Maas series.
Weird.
Anyway, yes.
Right? That's a good one.
Though, once again, Jamie, she's not a redhead.
Nope. I don't listen to those things.
Jamie just doesn't care at this
That's
point.
the magic of...
Jamie's mind.
Yeah, magic of my mind. And also that when people are in films and stuff, we're actually casting, they could make it a little bit more red.
She is so dark featured.
Yeah,
Could not
she couldn't.
possibly dye her hair red,
No.
and it looked like she's not wearing a wig.
Yeah, it's like when I had my hair red.
You tried.
I did, I tried. It's clearly not natural.
Okay, once again, good actress casting. Like, she would do a good job.
Yeah,
Looks wise, no.
not how I roll.
Okay, mine is Amy Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like she's a bit too sweet.
That's how I imagine Lucian's mom. I imagine Lucian's mom to be passive.
Yeah.
And how, like, Lucian's dad is in charge. Like, he makes the decisions. Like, I got the sense when she was helping Feyre, she was doing it behind closed doors. It was a secret. She was not telling anyone she
Yeah.
was doing it. Lucian's dad was not in on it. She was doing it for the love of her son. And also, Lucian has been gone from her court for a long time. So we had learned, like, you know, with Rhysand alluding that she still cared, like, there hadn't been any attempts made to, like, contact him or go see him, which makes me think that she is very passive and submissive. And so I just think of like someone to play that is like, I love my son,
Fair.
but my husband is the boss. And even though I have this love, my husband, what he says comes first.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Now I kind of want it to be, what's her name? Borat's wife.
Isla Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So Worm.
Oh, God. Okay.
Heidi Klum.
That's the only option.
Yep.
She's the only one that would possibly be down for that.
Right? Did you not see her Halloween costume when she
I
did that?
did. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, she has like a big mouth, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Heidi Klum.
You just will take some movie special effects and make her giantess.
Yeah. Right? Heidi Klum.
Can you do her German accent, though?
Oh, no. I am not good at accents. You should know that. I'm trying to... I just listened to an interview with
I
her,
dare
too.
you to try.
I feel like I would have to, like, listen and then try and do it. No, I can't. I can't even think of a sentence how you say
I
it.
know. I have no idea.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, Heidi wins because you know what? Steve Buscemi.
Just gonna be in everything. Every creature role is Steve Buscemi.
Watch me cast him as one of the High Lords.
Do it.
He can do everything. He
I
is
mean,
versatile.
he really
He's
is.
a great actor. Okay, let's get into MVP.
MVP.
Do you have one?
MVP.
I had a few.
I was thinking about this last night and I can't remember who I settled on. I feel like Farrah is just MVP every time, for the most part, but...
She did kill a worm.
Mm-hmm. You answer, and I will... Who else did I have?
I wanted to give it to the Lady Lamb Court, but I thought it was like, she was doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of mad at her. Like, that's all you're doing for your boy?
Here's some clean water.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucian.
That was mine.
Oh.
I was just about to say that.
Okay, well, I'm probably just going to agree with everything you say. So, Lucian.
Lucian is my MVP because he stuck his neck out for Farrah when she was trying to fight the worm.
Yeah.
I thought Farrah was too obvious, even though, like you said, like, it should be given to her. She killed the friggin' worm.
Yeah. The rest of the book is pretty much her.
Yeah.
Second place, we'll just do second place MVPs.
He knew what was going to happen to him, and he helped her anyway, and he took his punishment. He got whipped for it, and
Yeah.
he's proving to be... I hope he's proving to be a good friend, because part of it he had said in the book, like, I'm loyal to Tamlin, but it's like, I think it's more than that. I think you like Farrah and are starting to care for her, that it is more than just, like, I'm helping Tamlin.
When he went to visit her, kind of in the end, he said something, like, along those lines, like, have I not, like, proven?
Yeah, but he said I'm loyal to Tamlin during that too, so it made me question, like, okay, but is it more?
He even just says, you had offered up your name for me after all that I said to you, all I did, you still offered up your name. Didn't you realize I would help you after that, oath or no oath? And she said, I hadn't realized it would mean anything to him at all.
Yeah.
So I think...
I was just still questioning that, like, is it... I owe you something? Is it I'm helping Tamlin? Or, like, is it genuinely, like, you care? So I got, like, a little bit of that, but I'm just like...
Yes.
Just acknowledge that Farrah's your friend, Lucian. That's all I want.
I love you. You're my friend. I mean, he's doing the best that Lucian can.
Okay, so
Right.
are you taking along with my MVP then?
I am taking along with your MVP.
Okay. So coming up, I'm very excited for the next 2 episodes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Second MVP, the fairy wine.
Helping Farrah cope.
Yeah.
Coping with substances.
And I think just really helping everyone cope,
True.
right? And
You
it's-
need it, guys. You need
Yeah,
it.
and I think Alice said, like, this fairy wine's, like, way more...
Ooh, it's strong.
Yeah, maybe some...
The MVP is a
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Helping everyone get through life.
I'm very excited for these episodes coming up because there are 2 more episodes for A Court of Thorns and Roses, recaps and chats. We have broken it down into 2 episodes, but the last episode, I think we're just doing 2 chapters, and then we're just going to talk about the summary and all of those good things. We're going to have a not only an MVP for the whole book, but an MVP for drinks.
Ooh, that's a
and
fun idea.
things
Thank
like
God
that.
you have so many good ideas.
So the next 2 episodes are going to be good. It's going to be the conclusion. We are in the home stretch.
Are we going to do a loser of the whole book?
We can
series?
do a loser of the
Yeah.
whole book series, and we also have 2 really good beverages, which is what I'm excited for also.
I'm excited to try them.
Are they pink? Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe more red. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get away with it. They're
I'll just-
good, I swear.
I'll just edit them really red.
We'll put a red background just like Better Homes and Gardens did. We see you. Calling you out. I know you're listening to this podcast, Better Homes and Gardens.
Okay, what?
Because of the golden sangria. Remember, I was like, why
Oh,
isn't
right.
this gold?
Yes.
And you're like, oh, they put a gold background.
Yeah.
So they're liars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's tricks with photography. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Whoa.